microphone. There we go. Mic on. We are live and we are tracking storms in Michigan here. And let's get John's name off of there. And so pretty impressive, right? We don't get hail in Michigan very often. So I think we're going to make Frank do the forecast more often because apparently it's going to hail when he does the forecast. So let's take a look at what we got going on. We're going to jump out here, kind of take a broad look at where everything is actually ongoing, where it's taking place at. So we've got this line here of a few scattered thunderstorms that have developed, and until these kind of line out into a consistent line, they're going to have the opportunity to produce some large hail. So that's what we're going to have to watch for. So this right now is the most intense thunderstorm that we have. So we're looking right here to the southwest of Taylor, Michigan. So Detroit is right here. This is downtown Detroit right here on the river here. And right back here to the southwest, this is moving off to the east-southeast. And so this is the area that we're focused on for the largest hail potential for today. Okay, so again, right here, so Ann Arbor is right here. We had some quarter-size hail from this storm about an hour ago. And we've also received reports of quarter-size hail already on this storm, but it continues to look pretty good on radar. So there are a few things that don't look as good as others, but let's go ahead and jump on in here. We're going to take a look at everything that we can find on this particular storm here. So let's take a look at everything that we've got going on. So here it is. So on our reflectivity here, you can see we've got a nice core right in here. This is Romulus, I guess. So we've got a nice core right here, and just to the south of it here, and let's get this highway here that's running south for those of you that aren't familiar. This is I-275 right here, okay? So 275 digging south, and you can see all the streets right up in here. So we're moving into a fairly populated area. Our storm has a nice little hook right here on the back end of it, so inflow coming into the storm right here, okay? And the storm, the core of the storm, the heaviest part of the storm right now, this is Eureka Road, okay? So Eureka Road runs right through here, and this is 275 right here. So this is New Boston right here to the south. It just missed the New Boston area. Probably had some pea-sized hail in the hook as it came over, but the largest hail right now falling just south of the Romulus area, and that's what we're looking at. So the warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service, we got it right here. So the warning says 70-mile-per-hour winds. So this is some pretty high winds there. Does anybody actually still live in Michigan? I love it. I've got 2 developers that live in Michigan that are on our staff. So. All right, so 70-mile-per-hour winds and up to $half size hail. I think that that's probably pretty consistent with what we have going on in this thunderstorm right now. It does have a few of the parameters, so let's jump through them all. We talk about them pretty consistently here if you watch our live coverage. And this is actually interesting right here because we now have a hail spike on this bad boy. Do you see that, Frank? So we just got, look at the hail spike right here. So the radar beam coming through the storm, and all of a sudden it's reflecting hail down to the south, okay? This only happens when we have big hail, okay? So this is interesting right here. So what we're seeing, so this is pretty neat here, okay? So we've got the core right here, and what's falling right now is actually what the radar was picking up a few frames back. So the algorithm's actually saying the storm is actually weakening right now, but what's dumping out right now is what the radar saw a few frames back. So if we back it up here, notice right here, we had the pretty impressive hail marker right back here. And so it was actually telling us that there was hail up to 2 inches in diameter there. And if we back it up even further, we had 2.04. And if we back it up even further, we had almost 3-inch hail right here. Now, it wasn't dropping 3-inch hail back here, but it was brewing it. It was forming up in the storm. And actually, if we take a look at a 3D view of the storm here, so this is right as it was moving past Ann Arbor here. Let's make this a little bigger so you guys can see. Look at this storm here. There's the inside. There's the guts of the thunderstorm right here. Look at the updraft coming up into the storm. Look how tall it is. So we're getting the hail core. We're showing it up here at about 30,000 feet. the top, the gray, look at it all the way up here at close to 50,000 feet. No, Shane, this is not Colorado. We're talking Michigan today. So this is near Detroit, Michigan right now, okay? So the storm, the radar was reading this right here as the hail core, okay? But as this storm moves through, this will actually dump down to the ground, and that's what we're seeing happening right now. So I don't think this is going to be a long play. This storm isn't going to go on forever. So right back here we had, this is basically the southeast side of Ann Arbor. So the storm moving away from Ann Arbor here, but probably dropped some hail right in here, maybe up to quarter size. And then as it basically continues to move off to the south and east here towards Romulus, and hopefully I'm saying that right, that's what it looks like. So as it moves towards the Romulus area, then right there we get a little frame with a nice little hail spike on it. The CCs look real nice and low. Let's take a look at a couple other parameters here that we always like to look at. Our ZDR, showing us a decent volume of hail is actually falling. So we're seeing some good volumes of hail here. And our KDP looks okay. We typically would see a little bit bigger. So that's what's telling me this is not, you know, some of your hail spikes sometimes. What's that? Okay, so the KDP kind of drops out right where the CCs are. So, is what Frank just tells me. So, so this storm, I mean, we'll see what we can find here, but it definitely has the potential to produce. I mean, I would say, you know, at least golf ball size hail. I'm not 100% sure that that's what it's actually producing at this second, but it's trying to. And it had a couple of frames there where it had that core up really big on it. So. You can kind of see here, it looks like it's kind of finishing out its hail dump. We'll go back to the CCs here. And so they're still kind of low here, so it's still dropping its hail right through here. But I think it's going to have to cycle back up is what we're going to have to watch. So, and I think it can. You can see kind of a little boundary. This might even still be what's left over of our little hail spike right here. Inflow coming up into the storm right here. So it still has the potential to continue to increase in intensity and actually do whatever it is that it's going to do here. So so we're going to watch this thing continue to track across. So we're headed towards, so we're going to head towards Riverview right here. So now we're talking, it looks like most of the hail is actually fallen out. So our next frame comes in. We need to see, is it going to go ahead and re-intensify as this next frame comes in? That's going to be the big question here, okay? So we're going to let it go ahead and reanalyze. So notice it still has the CCs back here, and that's because this portion of the radar hasn't given us an update, whereas this portion of the radar has. So we've got an update on one half, but not the other half. Okay, so we're going to wait on this half to come in. I think what it's going to show is when it comes in that we're no longer producing significant hail in this area. We were dumping out the rest of it right here. So this was the final frame where we had larger hail. I'd say probably quarter size is actually what's falling there. And as we back it up here, there's where our hail dump occurred at, right in there. We'll switch it to a single frame. We've kind of analyzed everything here so we can see it a little bit bigger. So right in here, this was our hail dump coming out. And as we keep coming back here, right in here, now we've got, this is where it basically started, okay? So I think maybe we have one more frame, two more frames back here. So Belleville, Rowell, or Rollo, or whatever it is. So so moving through right in here. Dennis, I think that's your name. It always cuts them off halfway. But Dennis, it looks like I'm going to be, I think we're probably going to have some golf ball size hail is what we're going to see from this storm. At least in a little pocket right in here to the south and west of Romulus. And potentially if it was able to actually go ahead and get some hail to fall out, we're doing some research on this area right now to see if it could actually produce golf ball in that area. Let's take a look at what is in that area here of Michigan. Let's go ahead and we're going to jump over here to the HailTrace website. And let's actually jump in here and we'll zoom out. Let's see what we've got for coverage up here in southwest Michigan. Let's see, southeast Michigan, I should say. Okay, so this is the airport, was right there. So it hit right next to the airport. So there's what we've already got mapped out, guys. So that's how quick it is. So if you're a subscriber on HailTrace, you can actually get an output like that fast. Remember, this is the area, this is the little pocket that we were just talking about. So let's go ahead and hide this though real quick. Let's zoom in and see what we've got in this area, because so you can see everything is kind of spaced out a little bit more. This is kind of down Prescott Street here. But you've got some roofs in here, okay? There's obviously some cars, some people live here. So, and then if we kind of come back over here to the north and the west, we actually get into a more of a subdivision look right up in here. And so some of this area also being impacted. So you've got everybody's got their trampolines in here, and so you know, this is basically the whole gist. Bobby, will this jump the border into Canada? It definitely could. I think it's going to go over the lake, actually, not into Canada, but everything kind of moving to the southeast. So I think, is it Lake Erie or is it Huron over there? I get those two mixed up. I'll zoom out here. We'll just kind of show you where it's headed. So it'll move into this part of Canada, I guess, whatever this little area is over here. So it's going to basically come right across here, and then just kind of keep coming across this little area right in here. Maybe digs to the south and goes into Leamington, Canada. So right in here maybe, so we'll have to watch that area. But that's basically, this is kind of the gist of the area. It's what the area looks like. Just kind of curious what this area back here looks like. Looked like there could have been, yeah, there's definitely some better houses back here to the west that were in this area where we actually had some hail come through. So that could be Erie. Thank you, Bobby. That's what I thought. Huron's the one where Buffalo is on. So, all right. So let's jump back over here to radar. Let's see what our storm's doing. So we'll kick it back over here to live radar. And so we've got another little spot here, but the storm is trying to cycle right over here. So see how it kind of looks like there's two storms right here? So it's basically cycling and trying to form a new updraft, and a lot of this is occurring because of these showers and storms that have gone up to the south and west. So they're kind of fighting for energy here, and so we'll see if one of them can kind of take over. You probably got a little pocket right there where you might have had some quarter-size hail falling. Again, you can see the airport right up here that we just saw on our HailTrace map view, and then we've got second storm up here. This one's going to kind of go across, may move over in towards the Chatham area here in Canada as well, so or just south, so it might cut the gap right there. This little guy will make its way over towards Essex and then the north side of Leamington here, so it's going to kind of go right across through there and then eject out into Lake Erie there. So those are really the two storms that we have as of right now, and our storm in Detroit not looking quite as strong here. So let's back it up. Let's kind of recap it. Let's give it a chance to see if it's going to try to survive here those last couple of frames as it moves across the last part of Michigan here. So here's the life cycle of our storm. So zoom out just a tad here so you guys can see it a little bit better. So here we go. We've got Ann Arbor, Michigan right up here. Had some high winds reported right in here. Let's see, we had a wind speed of up to 60 miles per hour. It was actually measured at the airport at Ann Arbor there, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So that's some pretty good winds out there. And again, the storm wasn't quite as strong as it moved south of Ann Arbor, but we still had, let's see, this would be penny-size hail was reported there. So wasn't large enough to be severe at that point, but the winds were high enough to be severe. So some 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. You definitely got to watch out for stuff like that. But then as this storm continued to progress, or we can back it up here, so you can see right there, kind of weakened out on us right here as it moved across and just to the south of Ann Arbor. Produced some hail, but then watch right in here. This is where it really takes off. So right here just to the south of Rawsonville and Belleville, to the southwest of Belleville there. And then you got New Boston here, and it basically cut the gap right across there. See it shoot right across. This is I-275 right in here, I-275 cutting south. This is where our storm crossed. Dropped the biggest hail right there on that frame, and that was basically our leftovers dumping out. You can see it makes the hail spike right here. So this was the hail that the radar was picking up right there. So the radar's picking it up right there, actually dumped it out right there. And then we had the leftovers dump out right there. You can still see just a little bit of a spike left over as it finishes off. Then it kind of weakens, and then you see the little shower right here that pops up right out here in front of it. Creates a new marker, and then it doesn't really ever get going much bigger than that. So right here is got the river running, connecting the lakes right there, and so it's going to come across there. It's going to eject into Canada, but right now the storm's really not that strong anymore. So just some heavy rain, some thunder and lightning, and that's going to be about it for it. So we've got a couple of wind reports that have come in, trees down across the road near Pleasant Lake, 12 to 16 inch diameter trees down, so that's some pretty serious wind to cause that, just to the south and east of Ann Arbor. And that's about all we got so far. So that's what it looks like. Right now I think we're going to go ahead and cut this guy loose here. Looks like it's going to move right across the lake into parts of Canada now, and the storm is definitely weakened here. So again, we want to give a special shout out and special thanks to the C3 group for sponsoring our live feed today, allowing us to bring this lovely hailstorm right there that's dropping some great hail for us there on the southwest side of Michigan. This doesn't happen very often, so we wanted to jump in here, cut in, and show you what was going on. Here's a little word from our sponsor, the C3 group, and we appreciate you guys for watching, and always feel free to let us know if there's anything that we can do.
After a $1 billion hailstorm hits an area, your focus should be on running your business, not on insurance claims. We have helped streamline the insurance process for hundreds of roofing contractors across the U.S., and we can do it for yours too. Visit us online at c3adjusters.com and learn how we can help save you time and get claims paid faster.